So earlier, I did a video on the amendment that I made to my biblical events overlaying world history chart that I have. And I added Luke 2:2 to the birth of Christ. And I showed you guys something that I totally just misinterpreted because I had something else in my head when I read it. Sarge Bill sent me an email and said, "Hey, you might want to double check it." He didn't actually say that. It was worded much more kindly, but it made me be like, "Oh, duh!" I totally. It was the year was 6 CE, which should be 6 AD rather than 6 BC, and I just totally glossed over that. But what he pointed out was that the Luke 2 census that occurred at the time of the birth of Christ is a hotly contested, highly debated thing. And so it opened my eyes to like a whole bunch of research that's out there and censuses and the Roman government and things like that. So I've literally spent all afternoon researching about this. So I'm not going to amend that chart because Luke 2 is where the information about the birth of Christ comes from. But there is a debate about Cyrenius, who's mentioned in Luke 2:2, and when he was a governor of Syria, and whether there were other censuses under Caesar Augustus and the situationality of that and all of there's a whole big thing. So I deleted the video because I plainly read something wrong and misassociated something, and I was like, yeah, well, that's not good. But I left it on the chart because that is Luke 2:2 is the scripture that's attributed to that time period. And it doesn't truly matter because that's one of the data points that you can look at to link. But the next one would be Herod, who died in 4 BC. I know that it's another debated thing. A lot of people say Herod died in 1 BC. Herod died in 4 BC, which means that Jesus was born prior to it. He died in Nisan, like March, April, I think March something of 4 BC is what his death is linked to, which means that Jesus would have been born prior to that point. And most sources will put Jesus being born circa 6 BC, which is what I put as well. So it still doesn't change the outcome. But for those of you who watched that video and may have wondered why I deleted it, it's because I read through something too quickly and made an error in association. It was pointed out, and I'm like, oh, cool. So I have said, and I thank you. That's part of the reason I did that last video that people don't like is the type of subscriber that I'm trying to bring to this channel by the type of research that I do is someone who can point out stuff like that to me, and I appreciate that. So I took that video down. I'm not changing the chart because it doesn't change the outcome, but there is a separate explanation that goes alongside that. And for anyone else who watched that video and missed that, there you go. I'm used to seeing things written in BC and AD, so the CE thing threw me off because I was thinking C from BC, but it meant AD, and it was just a whole weird thing. And it wasn't even until like 3 emails into the email chain where I even realized what my malfunction was, and I'm like, oh, that's what you meant. So I was like, duh. But I am sincerely grateful that that was pointed out. And like I said, I spent the afternoon researching it, and it's actually pretty fascinating about the dispute of the census and Cyrenius and Caesar Augustus and the years and all of that stuff. It's actually quite fascinating. So I thought I would post a video about why I took that other one down, say thank you to Sarge Bill, and let you know that the chart doesn't change. The integrity of the chart does not change. But that was why I took the video down about it, was because the date that I had in my head was not what it was saying on the website that I brought up. And there's actually a debate about it, so I'm pointing that out. Anyway, I am going to start doing some homework. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend, and I'll see you later.